Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to everyone present here at the headquarters of the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations here in Rome, and to the many more connected online from around the world. Welcome to the World Food Forum 2024 cycle launch event. We're thrilled to be here with you all today to kickstart the program for this year's World Food Forum, including its flagship event to be held from the 14th to 18th October here at the FAO Headquarters, and to discuss opportunities for engagement and collaboration. We are also excited to announce this year's official theme, Good Food for All, for today and tomorrow, which will serve as the overarching frame for all WFF initiatives during the year. I'm Licia, Head of Marketing and Communications of the World Food Forum Global Youth Action Team, and I will be one of the moderators today with my colleague David.
Thanks, Licia. I'm David Giles, Youth Policy Specialist with the World Food Forum's Global Youth Action Team. For those unfamiliar with the World Food Forum, it was originally launched as an initiative of the FAO Youth Committee in 2021 to serve as a platform for youth engagement and empowerment in agri-food systems transformation. In just 3 years, it has grown substantially and now comprises 3 main pillars: the Forum's Global Youth Action, the FAO's Science and Innovation Forum, and FAO's Hand-in-Hand Investment Forum, fostering a truly inclusive and intergenerational dialogue among agri-food systems stakeholders. By bringing together youth, investment, science, and innovation, the World Food Forum forges new paths for action and multi-stakeholder partnership for agri-food impact at the local, regional, and global levels to achieve a more sustainable, resilient, inclusive, and hunger-free future for all.
Exactly. And each October, the Forum's activities culminate in an annual flagship event. World Food Day, an important event on the UN calendar, falls during the same week on the 16th of October and commemorates FAO's anniversary, focusing each year on a different theme. This year, we also have a new addition to the flagship event, as 2024 marks the midterm of the United Nations Decade of Family Farming. Today's event will bring together all the team members that make the World Food Forum possible in various panels and discussions, also giving a chance at the end for members in our audience to intervene. But first, let's watch a short video highlighting this year's theme, Good Food for All, for today and tomorrow.
Thank you. And I'm so excited to hear more about this year's theme, and we have the perfect person to tell us all about it. Without further ado, I'm delighted to hand the floor to Maximo Torero, FAO Chief Economist and Chair of the FAO Youth Committee, for his opening remarks. Maximo, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much, and thank you all for being here today. We have an important holiday today, but FAO keeps working, so we need to keep moving. But thank you so much for being here. Excellencies, dear friends and colleagues, it's a great pleasure to have you here to officially launch the 2024 cycle and theme of the World Food Forum, Good Food for All for today and tomorrow, so that we integrate not only the right to food today, but also sustainability so that we can have the right to food tomorrow. As many of you might recall, when the FAO Director General took office in 2019, he founded the FAO Youth Committee with the goal of systematically engaging youth in the work of the organization. And he also founded the Women's Committee, which is also integrated into what we do every day. As part of this, in 2021, the Youth Committee officially proposed and initiated the World Food Forum as a dynamic, youth-led platform and network of partners to empower youth for a better food future. The World Food Forum has since grown into a much larger intergenerational forum, now incorporating three main pillars, but there are many more that I will mention. But the three core pillars are the Global Youth Action, the second one is the Science and Innovation, and the third one is the hand-in-hand investment. On the Global Youth Action is acting as a catalytic movement and driver of youth engagement in food governance and serving as knowledge center and innovation lab, fostering and inspiring youth-led solutions. The Science and Innovation is allowing for a more focused and strategic debate on how science, technology, and innovation affect vulnerability, impact, and capacities, and are essential to transform the agri-food systems. And the hand-in-hand investment is providing the primary investments and partnerships interface for national authorities of the hand-in-hand countries to present investment opportunities to investors, multilateral development banks, the private sector, and donors with focus on investment potential on national agricultural and food value chains investment opportunities. But we also were very lucky in the last editions of the World Food Forum to have the Indigenous Forum. And the tent that they build normally here has all been very iconic of the World Food Forum. So we hope this year we will continue doing that. So thank you very much for the indigenous groups to being so supportive. And the idea of what we do is also to integrate all the different forums into a common platform. They are not silos, they are going to be completely integrated. Now, in addition to these pillars, the forum now also includes the official World Food Day celebrations, turning this week into a truly dynamic global platform to transform the future of our agri-food systems. There will be other events that will be linked to this week that we are in current discussions, and we will be continue updating you on how this will be evolving. So all this has enabled us to leverage the power of intergenerational collaboration, partnerships, and creativity across policy, science, innovation, education, culture, and investment. It had also allowed us to forge new paths of action, impact and acceleration at local, regional, and global levels towards a sustainable, resilient, inclusive, and hunger-free future for all. It has been impressive to see at the country level in the visits we do that we have youth chapters in each of the country offices that we have. And that's really impactful to see what they are doing at the country level. So this has moved out of FAO, which was our dream of FAO Headquarters from the beginning of the activities that we were doing here. I am also truly amazed and inspired by the level of energy and proactive collaboration that was fostered during the last year flagship event. We saw over 6,000 in-person participants and more than 65,000 online visits, with attendees coming from 186 countries. This year we are very worried about our capacity, physical capacity to handle, because countries want to come, and we have more than 30 countries right now that want to come to the investment forum. So we have a constraint, but we're trying to find solutions to that. This shows that there is a growing interest and need to identify the right solutions that can be scaled up to different contexts to support the transformation of our agri-food systems, accelerating the achievement of the 2030 Agenda and ensuring a better future for all, leaving no one behind. Excellencies, the agri-food systems that provide us with food are under increasing pressure. We know we have and I don't need to repeat this, but we have the significant level of hunger. Yesterday, the food crisis report was presented. More than 280 million people in acute food insecurity, and many more countries that are being affected. Of course, we have then the nourishment numbers that we will be launching also in July, where we will have the new numbers for SOFI for 2023. but things still don't look as we will have liked them to look. And also, we know that there are significant people that are facing very, very challenging situations, and we need to respect that, and we need to find ways to support that. So we are not meeting the goals, the SDG goals of the Paris Agreement, of the SDGs, and our agri-food system also creates externalities, but it creates something very good, and that's why we're trying to change the way we present the agri-food systems. We all normally talk about the negative things, the emissions, the biodiversity loss, and so on and so forth, but not. We provide the right to food. And to do something good, you always have some issues that you have to resolve. And these are the externalities of our environment, the emissions, biodiversity, water, land use, and so on. But clearly, we have a lot of space to improve and increase efficiencies. And that's exactly what we are trying to bring. That's why we are calling this Good Food for All for today and tomorrow. So the agri-food system transformation can really help us to create this change that we're looking for. In the lemma that we have of Good Food for All for today and tomorrow, good food means addressing complexities, increasing investments, and minimizing the trade-offs, but especially access to healthy diets. We didn't put access to healthy diets because many people cannot achieve that. So we put a word that brings something positive, but the goal, of course, is to achieve access to healthy diets. And we know that one solution doesn't fit all, but we also know that we need to increase efficiency in the way we produce, and that's what we're trying to bring through this lemma. We needed support of all the agri-food system stakeholders if we are to make the difference, and we must ensure inclusiveness with youth, women, indigenous peoples, and farmers leading the way of this operation. This session is just the first in a roadmap of activities that will be led by the World Food Forum, flagship event from the 14th to the 18th of October later this year. We really hope it will shed light on this year's initiatives and plans while providing the necessary information to ensure adequate engagement and participation at all levels. We really look forward for youth to be here, but also to our members and our countries to be here present in all the week of the activities that we're going to do, and to follow up also with the CFS week that normally now we are creating a huge continuity between what we do in this week and what happens later on with the CFS. So I look forward to seeing you all at the flagship event in October and to the session ahead. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Maximo, for providing these valuable insights on this year's theme. With this, we will now hear from the various teams about their plans for this year. To get us started, I'm pleased to introduce my colleagues from the Global Youth Action Team, Leticia Tanquela Nihus, Youth Policy Specialist, and Victor Muiru, Head of Local Youth Action. They will give us a short overview of the various youth initiatives and programs planned for this year, including the important work of Indigenous youth. Over to you, Leticia and Victor.
Thank you so much, Alicia. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Global Youth Forum section of this really exciting launch event. We're really pleased to be here with you today to share the many plans that we have for the Global Youth Forum this year. And we're going to give you an overview of what each of our programs are working on, starting with the Youth Assembly, which forms an important part of the overall Global Youth Forum, as its activities actually come together in several of the main sessions at the flagship event in October.
So that's right, Leticia, and to ensure that the Youth Assembly remains truly youth-led, its activities are governed by an independent group of young global change makers called the Youth Policy Board. The new cohort this year has just been launched, and so you can check them out, and they promise really fresh ideas and innovative perspectives. Of course, we can't forget about the Young Scientist Group, which provides technical backing to the entire work of the World Food Forum. So currently, they're getting ready for their second cohort collaboration, and we'll be launching a groundbreaking youth report during the flagship event in October. So keep your calendars marked and stay tuned. But Leticia, there are quite a number of members who are here and some joining online. So how can they get involved?
Very glad you asked. So over 1,000 youth representatives and observers were nominated from FAO members and partner organizations, and they will be participating in the virtual sessions leading up to the flagship event. But members can still join this by nominating their representatives and observers, so you can get in touch with us. But now, I think we can talk a little bit more about some of the other programs of the World Food Forum, for example, the local action. Victor, as you're leading it, tell us a little bit more of your plans for 2024.
Absolutely, and Maximo has already laid testament to this. By focusing on action at the local level, the World Food Forum is collaborating with FAO members as well as country offices to establish national youth agri-food platforms that we've christened World Food Forum national chapters. As well, we collaborate very actively with the FAO regional liaison as well as the country youth focal points on various initiatives and activities throughout the year, including during the observance of International Youth Day and regional forum events at the World Food Forum flagship event. And so we are excited that now we have 13 chapters established across the globe, and the goal this year is that we will expand to 25 countries across all regions by the year's end. And now we have something very exciting, especially with the Indigenous Peoples Unit. And so, Leticia, you can take it away.
So let's talk a little bit about the updates on last year's Global Indigenous Youth Forum. In 2023, the second session of the UN Global Indigenous Youth Forum brought together 186 Indigenous youth from the 7 socio-cultural regions of the world right here at FAO. This forum, which is held every 2 years, it stands as the sole high-level platform in the United Nations organized by FAO and the Global Indigenous Youth Caucus by and for Indigenous youth. This year, they will be actively participating in the 3 fora during the World Food Forum flagship event, ensuring that the priorities outlined in the 2023 Rome Declaration from the UN Global Indigenous Youth Forum are not only followed, but also duly considered in the Global Action Plan. And what do we have next now, Victor?
Yes, something very, very exciting, especially with the Innovation Lab of the World Food Forum. So the Innovation Lab supports young innovators, promotes solutions that are transforming our agri-food systems, and also works to inspire others around the globe so that they can become part of the change. So there are 3 core initiatives, and I'll be taking you through the first one, which is the Transformative Research Challenge. And this year, the TRC has 5 prizes that it will be undertaking in partnership with various FAO divisions as well as universities and partners, including the Global One Health Prize in collaboration and partnership with our partners, the Wageningen University and Research, a Food Loss and Waste Prize with the FAO's division on food and nutrition, and a prize really focusing on gender mainstreaming and the eradication of PPR with FAO's Animal Health Division.
The second is the global incubator initiative called the Youthful Lab, which has launched a second online cohort to elevate and develop the capacity of youth-led projects all over the world, with participating teams from countries from Honduras to Nepal and Uganda. This year is expanding to create youthful labs rooted in their local context, designed to give young innovators the resources they need to ensure their solutions have the highest impact.
And finally, on the Innovation Lab, this year marks the 4th edition of the World Food Forum Startup Innovation Awards that is held in collaboration with our partners, the Extreme Tech Challenge. And this is the global competition that showcases the work of youth initiatives harnessing the power of technology to drive the sustainable transformation of agri-food systems. And I know, Leticia, we've gone through quite a lot, but now we can move over to our education program.
Sure. So as you know, the Youth Skills Hub was launched last year and featured masterclasses, career opportunities, and an online library, all to be used as tools to empower young people with the skills needed to enter the agri-food systems job market. In 2024, the Youth Skills Hub will bring all 3 of these pillars together to provide even greater opportunities for youth. So can you tell us a bit more about these pillars, Victor?
Absolutely. 3 very interesting initiatives that are happening within this lab. So first is the brand new AgX Fair, which will showcase education projects from young people across the globe. So this year, there will be virtual semifinals where projects will receive expert feedback and mentorship from AgX Fair judges, and the best projects will be brought and will make their way to the World Food Forum flagship event in Rome in October. Then next is also something equally interesting, which is the first ever Policy and Deliberation Challenge of the World Food Forum. And in the same fashion, the teams will be working closely with us throughout the year until the World Food Forum flagship event in October. And lastly, I know this is very exciting for some people who have already participated in it, is the highly anticipated school assembly, where each year during the flagship event, the World Food Forum brings students together from around Rome and Italy, and also alongside some students from across the globe are joining online to this school assembly. And this year, it will happen with a twist. And Leticia, there's one special program that we have not mentioned, and you can take it away with this.
Last but absolutely not least, we have the culture program. Just last week, the 4th edition of the film festival was launched, and we encourage young filmmakers from member countries to submit their films on the agrifood systems to get a chance to win a special cash prize and also be featured at the flagship event. This year, we'll also be celebrating Sustainable Gastronomy Day in a very special new way by launching a restaurant week in Rome and different cities from the 17th to 24th of June, featuring restaurants run by young people and highlighting the theme that is food waste. For those in Rome, we really encourage you to visit the restaurants and experience firsthand the flavors of sustainable gastronomy. But lastly, we also encourage members to reach out to our culture program to feature elements of your rich cultures during the flagship event through different initiatives.
So thank you so much, Leticia. I hope this is as exciting for you as it is for us to learn about all the programs that the Global Youth Action side has in store this year. And so the Global Youth Action team really has quite a number of activities and will host dynamic and impactful initiatives and activities throughout the year, accumulating at the World Food Forum flagship event. And so I know there's quite a lot. And so to stay updated, you can scan the QR code, which is on the screen, and you can learn more about the programs as well. And to ensure that you do not miss on anything, you can also follow us on social media and sign up on our newsletter. And with all that, thank you so much for lending us our ears, and back to you, Listia and David.
Thank you, Leticia and Victor, for that very comprehensive overview. Now we would like to pass the floor to FAO Assistant Director General and Chief Scientist ad interim, Beth Crawford, to provide an overview of the FAO Science and Innovation Forum. The floor is yours.
Thank you so much. It's a real pleasure to be here, and we're pleased to present today the 3rd edition of the FAO Science and Innovation Forum for 2024, which will take place from 16 to 18 October under the umbrella of the World Food Forum. The proposed theme of the Science and Innovation Forum in 2024 is Inclusive Science and Innovation for Agri-Food Systems Transformation, Leaving No One Behind. So the forum will focus on promoting discussions on specific concrete actions to harness inclusive science and innovation in support of an equitable agri-food systems transformation. It will gather lead scientists and researchers, policymakers, state actors, young entrepreneurs, young scientists, farmers' organizations, family farmers, private sector, indigenous peoples, and others. So anyone worldwide with an interest in science and innovation for agri-food systems transformation is warmly invited to participate in person or online. Last year, we attracted an audience of 4,000 people here in Rome and 7,000 people online from around the globe. The forum will gather a diversity of speakers from various scientific disciplines and with a balance of gender, age, and regions. This year, we would like to have even more diversity, more inclusivity, leaving no one behind from the global north and the global south. The detailed program of the Science and Innovation Forum is still under development, but we will have a diversity of topics, but also a deep dive into certain themes, and all of this, of course, aligned with the FAO Science and Innovation Strategy. We are also excited to continue to co-host with the Global Youth Forum the Transformative Research Challenge and Youth Food Lab, which was just described by Victor and Laeticia. The Science and Innovation Forum will also have a synergistic collaboration with the UN Decade of Family Farming by hosting a dialogue table between family farmers and academics and scientists. Please visit our website, which you can scan through the QR code, and we will continue to update that with information as we move along. Let me conclude with a greeting for the International Girls in ICT Day, which is celebrated today. Science, technology, and innovation should leave no one behind, especially girls and young women anywhere across the globe. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Beth, for this informative update on the Science and Innovation Forum. Next up is the Hand in Hand Investment Forum. I'd like to hand the floor over again to FAO's Chief Economist, who will take us through the Hand in Hand Investment Forum's activities planned for this year. Maximo, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much. So the annual Hand in Hand Investment Forum is the culmination of the process of the hand in hand that we apply. Right now we have around 72 countries, which are hand in hand countries, 68 are active, and the rest ones are starting the process. But this serves as the platform for national governments to come and present what they have been working across the year. And it's not an easy job to be present here because they have to go through a process of screening until their investment plans are fully ready, working together with the investment center and all our partners at the country offices. And it is developed with the hand-in-hand tools, of course, and the methodology and the idea for us is to start attracting here all the potential investors to be part of this process. Helping us in designing this investment forum is Paul, which is here. He's the one that you have to contact, Paul Kiernan, which will be leading all the investment forum activities with us. But who we try to attract, and that's where we are trying to make the difference. Of course, we are bringing all the IFIs, all the multinational and multilateral regional national development banks. So will not only be the IFIs, but also the national banks that we're starting to find ways to attract. And this is a very difficult process because we want them present at a high level, and we have been progressing over time in being able to achieve that. So I hope this year we will be able to be successful. Our previous coordinator, Daniel Pierini, now is in the World Bank, so he will help us in the board of the bank, trying to attract them. And we also have people in other banks that will be helping us in that process. We also want to bring impact investors. And we have been working across the year, since the end of the last year forum, to continue working with them, and especially with the private sector, also try to fine-tune their presence, because countries are expecting that we will attract private sector that is interested in funding their investment plans. And that not necessarily is easy, because you have private sector that wants to sell what they do, and you have countries that want to sell their investment plans. So we're trying to work more closely with the chambers of commerce and many of the associations of private sector companies so that that process of matchmaking makes more sense and all of them get what they need. But the other beauty of it is that we have also the foundations. Last year we had a very good session with all the foundations, and this year we will continue with that, but also our development partners, no? The member countries and what they do. And now we are integrating all the whole system of donors, and also we are going to attract climate financing to this forum, so that we are trying to have them present here again in the investment forum. So the intention of the investment forum is designed to promote, facilitate, and enable investments of the agri-food system transformation as a catalyst for sustainable development, ensuring good food for all for today and tomorrow, which is the theme that we have been discussing today. Also, it's important that given that we do this huge effort to bring all these investors of the different types that I mentioned, the youth benefit from it, the Science and Innovation Forum benefit from it, and indigenous people benefit from it. So we need to take advantage as a group on this forum of all these people that we are attracting and do all parallel meetings, because we also want to attract financing for the youth activities and financing for the science and innovation. That's exactly what we need, how we can bring together. So there will be special events. We will have a private sector dinner on the first day. Then there will be the science and innovation reception, which we are hoping to join with them also, and many others that will help to create this catalytic process in today. Now, the agenda of the investment forum will run from the 15th to the 17th of October. The official high-level opening takes place on Tuesday morning, after the celebration of the 60-year anniversary of the investment center, which will be 60 years, and we will take advantage of that also because they will be doing their celebration here in headquarters. So that we are very happy about that, and will also be great because it will again make the continuity of the topics we operate at FAO with the investment that we need to attract. This will be at the plenary hall, and the opening session will focus on the theme of facilitating investments to support countries to transform the agri-food systems to sustainable deliver good food for all for today and tomorrow. The official opening will be followed by member countries, regional and sub-regional initiatives, presenting their investment plans during the afternoon of Tuesday, 15th of October, and the afternoon of Wednesday, 16th of October, after the World Food Day. Because on Wednesday, as it will be presented, we will have in the whole morning the World Food Day that will be taking action in that day. Now, who is coming? Right now, we have 28 hand-in-hand member countries, which are confirmed, but again, who ends coming at the end if they are ready? Because the last thing we want is to bring a country that is not ready to present their investment plans. Of these 28, which up to today, I think we are in 31 or 32, 13 are from Africa. So it's Cameroon, Comoros, Djibouti, Eswatini, Kenya, Lesotho, Madagascar, Uganda, Nigeria, Rwanda, South Sudan, Tanzania, and Zambia. 7 from Latin America and the Caribbean, Colombia, Cuba, Dominican Republic, Ecuador, Guatemala, Paraguay, and Peru. 7 from Asia and the Pacific, Bangladesh, Bhutan, Cambodia, Nepal, Pakistan, Papua New Guinea, and Tuvalu. And 2 from the Near East and North Africa, Iraq, and Mauritania. We are also having demands from countries that want to follow the approach hand-in-hand. So these are countries that don't comply with the criteria of the hand-in-hand, which is for the most countries that need, but they also want to apply the same tools, and we are seeing if we can bring them also this year. So the presentations are an important opportunity for them to showcase their investment plans, and again, what we expect is that the process starts, and then we have continuity. Luckily, the Investment Forum has also initiated country-level forums. There are many happening. I was in one in Guatemala, in Dominican Republic, in many countries in Africa and Asia already are happening. And we are also having regional and sub-regional investment forums. So it has also a scale up out of headquarters, which is what we wanted. And we have seen also very positive results in terms of number of commitments and negotiations. So from 2022, we have $1.4 billion committed or in negotiation, and in 2023, $2.1 billion committed or in negotiations. We now have also the regional initiatives. There are 5 regional initiatives that will be presented this year. The Sahel, which was presented also last year. The Dry Corridor, also presented last year. The Dry Corridor already have a sub-regional initiative investment forum that was developed in El Salvador. And there was also significant meetings happening in the Latin American Regional Conference. But we have 3 new regional initiatives, one of the Amazonia, one on the Caribbean seas, and one on Southern Africa. So we have expanded this, and let's hope that we can work. And the regional initiatives, in difference to the country investment plans, are cross-cutting investments, are investments that can apply across all the countries of that regional initiative. Like, for example, in the Dry Corridor, irrigation, soils, things that are across the whole Dry Corridor. The same will apply for Southern Africa, Caribbean, and Amazonia. What we expect is that the level of matchmaking meetings will substantially increase. And we expect, because we have an app for doing appointments, which is already open, companies can start the discussions even before coming, so that when they do the in-presence meeting, that will work better. We are also trying to work with the countries to not only come as governments, but also to bring their own private sector companies, because that will help also the process of linking with companies that will be coming in this process. So how you can get involved? The official Hand-in-Hand Investment Forum webpage is in the QR code that you have in the screen. You can log and view the list of countries and regional and sub-regional initiatives. We will be uploading the investment plans, I hope, by the end of May, so that you can start looking at them. And also, you have the previous Investment Forum investment plans, because in some cases, there will just be updates over the initial investment plans. And of course, you will have the bilateral meetings app, which is already running and can allow you to start making meetings with the countries to better understand what they are trying to do. So with that, let me stop, and I hope this will be a very active investment forum this year. Thank you.
Thank you, Maximo. The Hand-in-Hand Investment Forum, as we just heard, is truly growing each year, delivering such a positive impact for the countries and territories where hunger and poverty are highest. So thank you for your remarks. Now, let us turn to our colleagues from the World Food Day team for their plans for this widely celebrated UN Day. For this, I'll pass the floor to Vanessa Curcio and Aoife Reardon from the Office of Corporate Communications. The floor is yours.
Thanks, David. So World Food Day is celebrated each day on 16th of October, and this year it falls right in the middle of the World Food Forum. As you know, it's a UN International Day, and FAO leads about 15 international days at this stage, or more than that, but World Food Day is FAO's anniversary, so it's FAO's biggest campaign. It was first celebrated in 1981, and as the organization was founded in 1945, this year we're going to be launching 80-1, a year countdown to FAO's anniversary in 2025 through a year of different events and exhibits. World Food Day is a real powerful advocacy tool for FAO. It aims to connect with people, share FAO's work to transform agri-food systems, relate with multi-target audiences, and to mobilize action. So why has World Food Day become one of the most popular days of the UN calendar? Well, for one, it's action-oriented, really closely linked with the SDGs, and we see that through the 450 events in up to 150 countries each year that all call for action. Multilingualism is also an advantage. We produce content in 7 languages, but with the support of all our FAO offices around the world, we communicate in about 50. We've built a solid marketing strategy over the years. It operates on a limited budget, so we tap into the corporate social responsibility of the private sector. And this enables us to mobilize millions of dollars of in-kind advertising, reaching even 100 cities or 100 countries through these advertisements. Finally, it's all about having a global approach. We produce global content, but we make sure that it's easily adaptable at local level, and it can be communicated well. So Vanessa, tell us more about the theme for 2024.
Thank you, Aoife. Yes, this year's World Food Day theme is the right to foods for a better life and a better future. As we know, food is one of the most basic human needs, and it holds a profound significance in our lives. So food is a fundamental human right, and it's enshrined in the Declaration of Human Rights, and alongside, of course, life, liberty, work, and education. But why are we specifically talking about foods on World Food Day? It's because foods represents diversity, nutrition, safety, and affordability. It embodies the idea that everyone should have access to a wide variety of nutritious foods, regardless of background and circumstances. But unfortunately, 42% of the global population cannot afford a healthy diet. Malnutrition affects people in all countries and income levels, showing how deeply rooted the issue is. Malnutrition is also aggravated by protracted crises that are driven by a combination of extreme weather events, poor governance, and conflicts. And of course, without peace, there cannot be food security. And food security also needs an urgent response to the climate crisis. So transforming food systems is imperative. It requires investment, innovation, and cooperation across different groups. In fact, we have all a role to play. Whether you're a policymaker, whether you're a farmer, a consumer, or a youth advocate, you can make a difference in making this building a more sustainable food system. But as we mark World Food Day this year, of course, the campaign will capitalize on key moments, such as the 20th anniversary of the voluntary guidelines on World Food Day. But I'll pass the floor back to Aoife. You can tell us more about the launch, Aoife.
Okay, so the website has already been launched this morning, and it's fao.org/World Food Day. This will build in the coming weeks with new pages. And soon there'll be a circular state letter from the Director General going out to all ministries of agriculture around the world. And this will include the World Food Day brochure asking countries to participate in the campaign and the call to action. There'll also be a launch to FAO offices, governments, the private sector, and schools through communication handbooks and toolkits with the full comms package, and also tips on how to observe the day. Other kind of major launches coming up include the youth launch around the end of May. We have a poster contest that engages youth in over 115 countries since 2012. And there'll be a lot of content to support that, like activity books, a multilingual music video, and more. And around July, we'll have a radio and TV spot distributed to FAO office, so they have enough time to place this in time for World Food Day. In terms of events, here in Rome, we have the global ceremony on the morning of the 16th of October. We'll have the heads of the UN Rome-based agencies, a representative of Italy, other keynote speakers, and messages from His Holiness Pope Francis and the UN Secretary General. And there'll also be the presentation of FAO's Achievement Award. The following morning, we'll have the Junior World Food Day, which merges with the World Food Forum's Youth Assembly as a single event for the younger audience. And this will engage you through music, storytelling, dance, and theatre. But what's happening in Rome is almost insignificant compared to what takes place around the world. And this video that you're about to see gives a better idea of the truly global nature of the World Food Day call to action, a campaign that our team is proud to work on. Thank you.
Thank you both. It looks like a lot is in store for this year's World Food Day, and we hope to see many people, especially young people, engaged in this important celebration across the world. Last but absolutely not least, it is our pleasure to hand the floor over to our final speakers to introduce the midterm forum of the UN Decade of Family Farming.
First, we will have the pleasure of seeing a video message from FAO's Deputy Director General, Maurizio Martine, followed by an intervention from Anna Korzensky, FAO's Partnership Officer, who will tell us more about the UN Decade for Family Farming and their plans at this year's flagship event, as the decade reaches its midterm. We'll now watch the video first.
Dear colleagues, dear friends, the midterm forum of the United Nations Decade of Family Farming represents a great opportunity to celebrate family farming as a backbone of diverse, innovative, and dynamic agri-food systems. And family farmers know very well how to address the theme of this year's WFF, Good Food for All, today and tomorrow. And indeed, they are essential actors when it comes to the food that we'll all eat and that our children will eat. Family farmers contribute to food security and nutrition with healthy and diverse produce, manage natural resources for future generations, and preserve rural communities and cultural heritage over time. The midterm forum of decade will ensure involvement and participation of family farmers in a discussion on the strategic topics of youth, science and innovation, and investment. And putting innovation at its core, the midterm forum will be led by young farmers who will guide the discussion and identify priorities for the future of agri-food systems. For this reason, we look forward to meeting you all in our farm venue during the WFF 2024. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Since its launch in 2019, the UN Decade of Family Farming has provided a framework for member states to develop, improve, and implement public policies and investments for family farming. Indeed, this year, 2024, marks a very important milestone for us, the halfway point of this decade. After 5 years, we indeed have many to celebrate, great results, but we also need to carefully plan strategies and actions for its second half. We are truly glad that this important moment of the decade, namely the midterm forum, will be hosted during the upcoming World Food Forum. This will not only allow us creating synergies with the previously presented events, but also guarantee the presence of a great number of family farmers, pastoralists, fishers, forest farmers, women and young farmers during the week in FAO here in Rome. In terms of our program, the midterm forum will be centered on policy innovations for family farming and will be led indeed by young farmers. The forum will start on the 15th of October with the high-level opening where we will reaffirm the global commitments by the decade. Sessions on the 16th of October will host dialogues focusing on essential elements of effective policy approach for the support of family farming. We will talk about the decade as a suitable mechanism for the uptake of global instruments and explore synergies with leading initiatives directly investing in farmer organizations. On our final day, on the 17th of October, 3 essential topics will be explored from the perspective of family farming: access and use of natural resources, markets and economic opportunities for family farming, and the relations of family farming when it comes to the environmental agenda and climate change. Well, for all of this, we will set up our own event, a farm, just right outside here in the parking of FAO. As Deputy Director Martina mentioned, this space will be centered around innovation. The exhibition area of this farm venue will display creative solutions by family farmers from all around the world. The farm will also host a global radio station to make sure that decisions reach a wide range of listeners through rural radios, especially family farmers and rural communities on the ground all around the world. We know that today those radios reach 4 million people. So beyond the participants here, we will count on these listeners. Finally, our communication and advocacy strategy will be implemented in a participatory manner together with the global and regional farmer organizations and other partners of the decade. We really look forward for this upcoming World Food Forum, and we really hope to meet you at our farm. Thank you.
Thank you. We are truly excited to welcome so many farmers, in particular young farmers, to this year's flagship event. And thank you to all the speakers who provided us with these insightful updates on the World Food Forum 2024. This will truly be an inspiring and impactful year.
And with this, we would now like to open the floor to those who have joined us in the room. To get us started, we will open the floor to reactions from the permanent representatives who have expressed an interest in providing a statement. And after that, if there are others in the room who'd like to intervene, if you could make yourselves known to our colleagues here, we'll make sure that we can get a mic to you. First, we will have the permanent representative of the Netherlands, Ambassador Boykeboom. The floor is yours. We'll get a mic to you there now.
Thank you. Thank you, and compliments to everything that has been presented now. As ambassador from the Netherlands, I've been involved in this whole process for the past couple of years, and I'm really pleased to see to what it has grown. It's really impressive, and what you said in the end, it's growing way beyond the walls of this building. So that is indeed very impressive to see. Also, the room full of youth now to start this process that takes place in October, already starting in April this year. So kudos to all of you involved. Maybe 2 points to mention from my side, and two have actually been, one has been mentioned already, and that is the Youth Food Lab. I think Victor and Letitia referred to that as a good example of youth involvement from youth in the Netherlands, who together with academia and people around the world who were involved, created something that is still functioning today, and very impressive, I think, as well to see that it's getting traction and going way beyond these walls as well. The other thing is the Dutch chapter, the chapter of youth organizations in the Netherlands, who have been involved from the beginning as well, and growing over the years, and very much willing to share their experiences with other youth across the globe, to see how you organize something nationally and how you get involved in an event like this, and in a youth assembly as it has been organized this year. I think that is a very good addition to and a good development of this initiative of the World Food Forum, and takes us from sometimes can be seen as a kind of a tokenism to real youth participation. And I think that is a great development as well, after several years of World Food Forum, that we go from a big celebration of youth to a real forum that helps to change policies and has a real influence in the developments in this building. But again, in the transformation of food systems that is well underway already. And I think if we talk about the food systems of the future, you can't do that without the involvement of youth itself. And that FAO takes the steps as it does to create all this, and to create a platform where meaningful youth participation can take place, I think deserves many kudos. But it's also something that I think that is never finished. So it's great that you try to break the silos between all the different fora and really genuinely involve youth across the globe to connect those dots. Again, from the Netherlands, where this national chapter is developing, they bump into several challenges themselves. Like in any democratic process, if you want to be representative, you have to work hard, and you have to find ways to really tap into all those constituencies in a country to get the input that you want. And that is hard work. And having been able to witness that from close by, I know that sometimes you also have to say goodbye to people that are involved, but include others as well, to add the voice of youth to the developments in this building and in the governing bodies of FAO, but again, also beyond. And I think that hard work deserves support. And I see that it gets a lot of support from FAO and from all the people in this forum, but also from senior management. But I can say, and looking at the front row as well, that it gets a lot of support from member states as well. And if anyone wants to learn from how the Netherlands has done that, and how the Dutch youth chapter came about, please feel free to reach out. And the Dutch chapter is very much willing to share its experiences and to see how we can take the World Food Forum forward. So thank you for this opportunity, and kudos to everything that has been organized.
Thank you for your kind words, Ambassador, and for the great support provided by the Netherlands. Now we will hear from the representative of Brazil, Mr. Bezerra. Over to you.
Okay, thank you. And good morning, everyone. Well, I would say that in the case of Brazil, it has been kind of a learning process for us. We decided only last year to try to organize, not to organize, but to coordinate and to engage more constructively and systematically in the forum. I arrived in Rome to the mission early last year, and it was impressive. I was impressed to learn about the size of the event and the number of participants and the challenges ahead. So in our case, as a government representative, our challenge was to decide on the priority areas and how to engage in such a complex event. And being very frankly, we are still learning about it. So I think that my comment is much more of a kind of a personal assessment than a national position on that. But in any case, the first thing that came to us is that okay, it's an opportunity to showcase, to network, and to build partnerships. So let's find out priorities. For last year, well, there's so much that one can handle. So we defined some like 3 or 4 priorities around Science and Innovation Forum, hand-in-hand initiative, bioeconomy as a cross-cutting subject. And well, I think that the result was very positive. We have very meaningful discussions and constructive participations, real partnerships were built. And the challenge that I want to comment as a member state is that, okay, now we are working on how to carry over this experience from past year and to continue, like to make these partnerships resultful and meaningful for those that are willing to engage. So that's the challenge we have. So the subjects of last year should continue as part of a process, not a one event that people come, okay, I saw how it is, so goodbye. No, people need to want to come back and to see that as a process moving on. At least that's what makes sense for us as governments. And the second point, I think, is what the ambassador from Netherlands mentioned, the synergies, the silo breaking. I mean, we cannot treat this as different events as under an umbrella, but as a single process. And we need to, for example, to try to bring people from the Science and Innovation Forum that can also engage in other activities and parallel events. That's how we think that this can be more impactful, at least from our perspective. I mean, we are working in quality participation at this point. I mean, we have a big delegation last year, and we should have another one this year. And we want to make sure that this is a work that will continue and will make achieve results. And the third comment, I think it's the thematic interface with governmental processes. This is important for us as well, in the sense that the subject of the theme for the event this year is focused on the right to food. And Brazil, as the chair of G20, proposed the Global Alliance Against Poverty and Hunger. So there is a clear convergence on that. And I think that the forum organizations should also look at those global priorities and try to create, build synergies also around the global agenda. And this is, I think, the way to build bridges with other processes and create influence and constructive engagement. And the same goes for the family farming midterm forum. We were very happy to see, I think, that this agenda is very important. And we believe that it also converges to the theme of the World Food Forum and to the contribution that this agenda can give to other priorities. And finally, we're happy to hear as well about the Indigenous Forum that will happen. I thought it was only last year, and we're very happy to see that it's coming back. It was also very constructive from our perspective, and it's also symbolic, as Massimo mentioned. So I think that those would be my comments. It's a huge work. I mean, I congratulate the organizers, and I thank very much, because this is only possible for us because I could have doors open here. I mean, to reach out to FAO colleagues and to other representatives from other countries, because this is a different format from what we are using in multilateral activities. This is important we are kind of joining forces here to make something meaningful. And I'm grateful that I could have a good partnership with the Secretariat staff and the staff from the World Food Forum from the outset. So I thank you, and I wish all of us a very good work this year.
Thank you, Mr. Becerra, for your comments. We look forward to keeping those doors open and for continued engagement with Brazil. We'll now hand the floor over to the representative of the Dominican Republic, Ms. Rodriguez. The floor is yours as soon as you have the microphone. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for giving me the floor. I represent the Dominican Republic as we chair the UN Decade of Family Farming International Steering Committee. On behalf of the committee, we would like to recognize the World Food Forum for this year for the attention given to family farming. The Decade of Family Farming, as Anna said, has proven to be an effective mechanism for promoting innovative policies and for the benefit of family farmers. In 40 countries, it has promoted the strategic, creation of a strategic framework for its benefits. We believe this year is very important for us, and we are very glad to have the opportunity to host the midterm forum during the World Food Forum week. And we look forward to celebrating it with you, as we believe it will be a good way to strengthen the synergies between family farming and other strategic issues. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your comments. We will now pass the floor to Mr. Marathi, the representative of Kenya. Sir, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. Good morning, good afternoon, everyone. May I first thank the distinguished panelists for setting the pace for this launch. I would like to recognize and thank FAO for organizing this launch, which kickstarts and propels us towards the WFF flagship event, which will be held later this year. We do welcome the theme, Good Food for All for Today and Tomorrow, for this year, for its inclusivity and dynamic nature, which reminds us that prudent food transformative actions not only have impact on the current generations, but also in the future. Kenya has about 18 million youth, which accounts for about that 6% of the total population, and constitutes 60% of the total labor force, of which 10% are directly participating in agriculture sector. However, despite youth making up a significant percentage of the population, youth engagement and employment in agriculture has been disappointingly low. The major underlying issues affecting youth participation in agriculture include access to land, agriculture finance and insurance, knowledge, skills and extension services, and use of innovative technologies and access to markets. It is in this regard that the government of Kenya is promoting meaningful youth participation in decision-making in society and fostering youth leadership and youth role models, particularly on youth-related policies. We are committed to facilitate adoption of new technologies and innovations to transform the agricultural sector and enhance productivity and capacity to feed the increasing population in our country. We acknowledge that the effective application of science, technology, and innovations in agriculture is a powerful tool to achieve two goals of improving productivity and also doing it in a more sustainable manner to safeguard our livelihoods and our planet for present and future generations. We are glad to be part of the Hand in Hand initiative investment in Kenya. Currently, the Hand in Hand initiative is supporting investments addressing animal feeds gaps, which is actually estimated at 60%. And we are optimistic of enhanced engagements and the trajectory of this initiative resulting from engagements with investors during the last investment forum and also the upcoming forum. In conclusion, in pursuit of agricultural transformation, our government is implementing a comprehensive blueprint, the agriculture sector transformation growth strategy. And this presents our unwavering commitment to reforming the sector by increasing output and productivity, boosting incomes, and most importantly, ensuring the resilience and food security of Kenyan households. Like before, we are still committed to participate in this World Food Forum event this year. Thank you.
Thank you for your remarks. That brings us to the end of our speaker list. If there's anyone else who would like to make remarks, the time is now. And if not, we will bring our session to a close. Okay. Yes. Thank you. There's a mic on the way. If you could please introduce yourself and keep your comments to perhaps 2 minutes, that would be fantastic.
I will be less than 2 minutes, no worries. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Irma. I'm from the Embassy of Indonesia here in Rome. I just wanted to tell us a short story, but you know that Indonesia is the fourth most populous country in the world currently, and 52% of our population is youth. So this forum and the World Food Forum is very important to us. And last year, our chief of staff of the president closed the event, and he was talking about regeneration of farmers, which is very important because a lot of people want to work in the cities. They don't want to work in the agriculture sector. And so this is for our government. It's very important to have such programs, innovations, and everything like this. And so as a follow-up to that, we had a lot of you. It was unexpected. It was my first World Food Forum last year, and we thought we had like maybe 10. And then when we gathered them, saying, hey, call all your friends from Indonesia. Let's have lunch, And it turned out we had like 35 people, which was, for me, it was unexpected. We hope with that program, we hope to have more youth coming this year and participate in the World Food Forum. And so we will hope to know what innovations, what ideas they have and all this. And just as a follow-up to that, some of the youth that were here, they had a meeting with the chief of the staff, and so they followed up on all the meetings here with him and having how to regenerate. And then through that, in January, we signed an MOU with FAO, which was supporting us in this program of regenerating farmers in Indonesia, and it will target about 150,000 farmers, youth farmers in Indonesia. And so I think that's a real impact and a real project that happened because of this youth, and they talk to the people that were here and everything. And so I just wanted to let everybody know that there is a real impact to such events here at the World Food Forum. And hopefully in the future we'll have more of that and keeping it up. And so I congratulate everyone on the panel and everyone involved, and such good work. And we hope Indonesia will be there to support all the programs. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your remarks. It's fantastic to hear of the real impact, as you say, of the World Food Forum far beyond these conferences in Rome. Are there any others that would like to intervene? If so, feel free to raise your hands. No. In that case, I will pass to Alicia to close the session.
Absolutely. Thank you, David. Once again, I'd like to thank all of the panelists and the people who attended here today, and we hope to see you all at the World Food Forum flagship event here in Rome on the 14th to 18th of October. Thank you.